This is a big factor that we haven't hit on today, as we're talking about specifically in 3v3. Initial pathing points and how to maneuver around inside of this becomes a real big factor. As you can see right now, both teams are choosing different approach paths, so they're going to get line of sight on each other. So where the hit scan players can try to get in a little bit of nick and dime damage. And look at how you're seeing one team is forcing the other one into the hallway. Right now, red team's really kind of focused back, trying to figure out a way to come in and path in on this, just due to the hit scan damage that's coming out. Luke's coming around the corner. They're really close. It looks like he's trying to go for a hook, but just can't quite find the opportunity for it.
He's getting nice right clicks off. Sleep does land on Brent. Let's see if they take that opportunity. Looks like he's going to wake up. Double flashbang, actually. It's going to result in a decent chunk of damage being done, but Ergon has the shift that he can use to go into ice block. But still, that was a decent trade. CJ Chrome wind up getting his ultimate off of that, although Reckless has Whole Hog, which can potentially counter the nano boost.
Finally starting to get some combat coming in. We see the Whole Hog coming out, trying to get some damage, and Alien actually managed to take out Reckless right through the Whole Hog, though, and that's getting rid of
Whoa! Electric Cowboy manages to actually live through. Double shot, actually. Double body shot. One more. There we go. Nice accuracy from Alien 42 there. Also utilizing the nano boost particularly well.
Just a nice set of plays, but that does mean the fact that you have McCree off of the table, and now we're seeing on the other side of this, Dirty One Tricks is having to lean back into this pharmacy that we saw before. They did see success. Reclats played very, very aggressive D.Va, so while we haven't been seeing a lot of success with this comp, the only success we have seen with it is from this team. That being said, they are going to be playing and pushing into what could be Widowmaker and a Soldier with a Reinhardt.
This is the double hit scan composition that BLT has been using in this particular tournament. CJ Crow, they actually lost last time. The only round they dropped in the last set was with this composition versus Farrah Mercy. So we'll have to see. Dirty One Tricks can keep the pattern going or not. It's all about CJ Chrome. Can he land those long-range headshots, particularly on Brent, the Farrah player? But, you know, I mean, if it lands on the Mercy as well, that's pretty good.
Mercy is just a ticking time bomb of effective use, the further this goes in. The longer we can see.
Big dive from D.Va. That's very dangerous. Nice body shot, hook body shot, but Brent will take out Alien. Look at this. It's a 1v1 between Mercy and Widowmaker in the back. Mercy lives with 50 health. Wow. Amazing. Still CJ Chrome is alive. Can't quite get it. Finally kills Mercy. And now it's Luke, the Reinhardt with a hammer, versus Brent, the flying hero.
I like this. Look at this from Luke. Understands positioning, understands the strengths that Brent has. Says, nope, okay, there's one of us still alive from both teams. I'm just going to position myself in a hallway and force you to come to me if you want this victory. He knows he can't fight him out in the open, so he's trying to make sure that he's forcing Brent to play in terrain that is favorable for him.
Luke can potentially stall it. It'll be pretty difficult. He doesn't have Earthshatter. Earthshatter would really be able to steal a deal because Brent can't push into narrow spaces. Well, Luke has Earthshatter, but that's not the case right now. Brent will have his Justice Reigns from Above, the Rocket Barrage ultimate, pretty soon. That'll be able to bust through Luke's shield as well. Ooh, a direct. That's bad. Luke down to one more rocket's worth of health.
Managed to get blasted by the cushion grenade. Pushing back. He has absolutely no health. He's sitting on 66 health right now. Just splash damage alone could be catastrophic for him. He's doing a good job playing around it, though. This is just getting longer and longer. We should be sneaking up on the minute timer showing up any moment now. Brent needs to he knows he has the victory in his grasp. He just has to figure out how to execute on it. At the same time, Luke knows that every single second that this ticks gives him a chance for Earthshatter, gives him the chance to fight this back. And here we go. 1 minute remaining.
This is good actually for Luke. The wall hacks are good for Luke because he can see the Farrah. He has the Earthshatter available to him as well. So if Farrah tries to do any sneaky beaky sort of stuff like this, potentially Earthshatter could just finish this straight up. Let's see what happens.
Problem with it is going to be the animation for Earthshatter. Brent can be that opportunity where the rocket can get him.
Brent
so you're going to have to time this right.
True. Brent is trying to bait the Earthshatter. Luke is actually just letting him hit the shield. This is a little bit dangerous. If the shield, if Brent kills the shield, he could just win for free. Ooh, okay. Tries the flame strike out. Here we go. I think the justice. Oh, but this Earth Shatter is going to come out. No, can't quite get around the corner. And Luke didn't have a shield remaining. Oh, if he had just made 2 more little steps to the right, that could have gone completely different. That came right down to the wire.
That was just an insane match. I have to give it to both people. They played that well. You could see the fact that they didn't yell at the time. They didn't let the pressure kick on them. They knew how they were both going to play, and they both knew how the other person was going to play. That's what really comes down when you get into these 1v1 situations. It's so absolutely fun to watch. Just seeing both players understand what the other person's doing it and trying to mind game and figure out the best way to find that opportunity. Sometimes it just comes down to that 1 or 2 steps. Just so game-changing. And with that, we are now tied 1-1 in this round.
Looks like they're going for the Roadhog with Zarya. This is a composition we've seen before. It's pretty beefy, pretty strong, very tanky, difficult to beat, especially if you have a dive composition. This might be a bit rough for the Dirty One Tricks.
Tricks are trying to find the opportunity to go through. You can see that everybody on BLT is just taking the high ground. They're just using these Lucio speed boosts, trying to find the opportunity to find some type of flank. Klatz just jumps straight in, trying to find the damage, gets the shield down. Everybody's kind of low. Both things are kind of low. Actually, you can see Alien's also getting some tick damage as well. Brent's trying to find some work on this. Has to retreat back up and gets hooked, and Luke takes him down.
Long range hook nails Brent from the side. That's going to leave a lonely Winston to his fate and put BLT up 2-1, threatening to take this first match.
It was just really well done by Luke. Saw the fact that the Tracer recalled back, instantly turns around, gets the hook on him, hits the shot before, because Tracer was hanging over an open area. If he didn't instantly hit that shot, Tracer could have potentially blinked, dropped down, gotten away. Just such an important pick inside of that. And you can see that directly afterwards, the rest of the team just collapsed upon it. And now we're seeing a dive comp that's going to be coming out on the side of BLT, going up against where Klatz running the Reinhardt McCree this time. This is going to be really, really interesting. We're not seeing the pharmacy going against the dive comp this time. So really it's going to come down to what Alien could potentially do with his dives as he comes in. Can he synergize well enough with Luke to take down either McCree or Oregon fast enough?
Luke needs to reflect the flashbang. If he doesn't, that could be catastrophic. One flashbang is all that Reckless needs to get the charge in. All Brent needs to get the headshot in. So let's see how we execute here by BLT. This is all about the coordination. Luke and Alien 42 need to go in at the exact same time.
See this positioning from Dirty One Tricks. They understand the predicament that they're in. Not playing any further forward than this. Just trying to protect the hallway where Klatz is doing a good job with the shield. Backs up very, very slowly, very strategically. The whole team's trying to reposition around. Looks like they're trying to play off of Brent's hit scan. We've seen him hit some crazy shots as we've gone through this. Managed to get the necessary pick. It's trying to get some lockdown on Luke. While the rest of everybody from BLT is playing really far back. CJ Chrome understands the fact that he doesn't need to get picked out by this McCree and is playing terrain the whole time. Meanwhile, Alien's just looking for an opportunity, just none is presenting itself.
This is such a tense round right here. Reckless shield getting relatively low. We see 599 health remaining. He does land a fire strike. That will give him a little bit of progress towards the Earthshatter. We see a sleeping Alien 42 though. Oh no, CJ Chrome at the back. He gets the flashbang, and Brent winds up finishing the deal as well. Takes him out, and that flashbang is all it took. We have a Dragon Blade. Maybe we can get Brent. No. Roll away. There we go. Nicely done. That was amazing. Amazing push and positioning and peeling all in one from Dirty One Tricks.
So for the first round in this series right now, that is this best of 5, we are now tied 2-2. This is what you want coming into a grand finals. Both these teams are playing so strategically. I absolutely love it. Tell that they're trying to figure out the right way every single time. Neither one wants to execute until they have their win conditions to get the map in their favor. So we're going to be seeing the pharmacy with Tracer this time coming out, going with Narissa, Widow, Lucio. This is an interesting composition.
Are they going to stick out of this? This would be really crazy. Orisa, Widowmaker, Lucio. I don't see how the Lucio really benefits this team composition because there's nothing to really speed in. But they are playing against a Fair Mercy Tracer. This is BLT's strongest composition in my opinion. And they are bringing it out in the 5th round. They've saved it for. I think BLT is severely favored going into this. They have an amazing comp versus this really awkward thing that it looks like the Dirty One Tricks were kind of forced into, because remember, this is the 5th round. They don't have a lot of heroes available to them.
There is potential inside of this. Specifically, like Orisa can drop shields right now. Widow can play around it. Although the moment that Brent steps forward and starts trying to shoot it, you see Reclats shifts the shield to a different location. That forces Brent to come back up. I don't think that was favorable.
Oh.
And now, yeah, they gave the rockets in. That shield positioning coming out just was not what was needed for this comp to come into play. That turned on a dime.
BLT showing superior long-term metagaming, because in this format you can only pick one hero one time per match. Coming into that last 5th round with a full Pharah Mercy Tracer composition, their strongest composition, versus what seems to be, like I said before, a pretty awkward composition from the Dirty One Tricks. So
just a nice pickup there, polishing everything off. So round 1 in this best of 5 goes in favor of BLT. That's it. There's still plenty more 3v3 to go, though.
Oh, yeah.
That was a really close series. Dirty One Tricks definitely didn't get pushed out of that by any means. The problem with it was, I think it came down to just in round 5, they didn't have anything left to work with. They didn't save any strong comps. They didn't mix anything up.
Yes.
So whenever it came down to the moment that they needed to perform the most, they just didn't have the tools necessary to execute what they wanted to execute.
It's so important in 3v3. If you don't look far enough ahead, sometimes you find that's also why it's so strong, because remember, BLT was originally the people who were up 2-1, and so that allowed them to not play their best comp. Dirty One Tricks, when you're down 1-2, if you lose that next round, you lose the match. So you have to bring out your best team composition. So it is important to get the lead early if you do get the lead in a 3v3. The person going in with the down 1 round does have the disadvantage because of how that team picking dynamic works.
It's 100% true. Specifically, early momentum inside of this is especially favorable if you play on it. That becomes the big factor, is you have to execute and play on it. Understand, okay, we've got the early lead inside of this. That means that we can be a little bit more liberal with our hero selection. Granted, we didn't see any Reapers that time. No surprise.
No Reapers, yeah.
No Reapers. Actually, I think the only hero that we may not have seen today, we haven't seen a Hanzo, and I don't think that we've seen a Sombra, but now that we're in the finals, I'm willing to bet we might not see either one unless either one of these teams have some type of really tricksy comp that they're wanting to pull out.
Well, these teams, if they're going to pull out something tricksy, this is the time to do it. We will be getting into the next round very shortly. The players are just readying up here. So BLT is up 1, although it was pretty close. Matchroom, do you think that BLT has this one edged out, or do you think that Dirty One Tricks has proven themselves as potentially being able to, take this eventually? Because they're down 1, right? But they can still take 3 at some point.
I think that Dirty Tricks has the capabilities to win this. Sure, BLT has been very strong and they've been very dominant in previous events. BLT showed that they have the tool sets. Now they just have to make sure that they can account for these other variables. Maybe I wouldn't be surprised if right now there's some discussion going on saying, okay, what happens if we make it to round 5? How do we need to change our hero selection up until that point to ensure that we aren't left with something that's unfavorable for us?
Yes.
And that becomes the big factors inside of that. Because I don't think it was necessarily Dirty One Tricks got caught off or outplayed. It's just their own hero selections through the map is kind of what left them with nothing to really play with. I will say the shield reposition right there at the end. I know that there was a Tracer that was coming in on the Orisa trying to provide the cover, but that shield drop right at the end I think could have been totally game-changing. If that shield had stayed up for the Widowmaker, could have gotten the shots that were necessary.
Well, plus, even I think that the closest thing that entire match was the Pharah versus Reinhardt 1v1. We saw just one step to the right, and the Earthshatter would have been able to nail the Pharah. So close. That might have ended the game even earlier.
And we are now back in map, everybody, so everything's starting to load in. All the heroes reset. This could be an interesting modification that we're seeing that's coming out on the side of One Tricks, because they're looking at probably eyeing, well, I wouldn't say looking at probably, they're looking at the potential of running Reaper. Reaper doesn't have much success, but running an early comp like this that's not necessarily the most favorable gets all of these heroes off of the table, and potentially at a time whenever a team's going to be running one of their stronger comps. And on the other side of this, look, we're seeing Luke has actually made the switch over to Hanzo. We have seen him play this before. This is a really interesting comp inside of it. No heals except for Alien, though, so they're going to have to play very, very conservatively and very, very safe.
Normally, normally they run the Widowmaker in this composition with the Reinhardt and the Soldier, but this time they're running a Hanzo. I guess that means that they aren't predicting Pharah Mercy. That's all I can imagine.
Most teams tend to save the pharmacy, so it doesn't surprise me. It does mean the fact that this is going to be a very peculiar map the longer that this goes on. Reclats did take some damage, but is Zarya, can self-heal it, got the Lucio with him. This is going to become kind of a war of attrition, in lack of a better term. CJ Chrome, what are you doing? Calm yourself down, sir.
He knows that there's a Reaper on the other team.
He's just trying to show Reaper dominance. I can spin faster than you can. I got better blade made.
Well, Brent is playing Reaper. Will he be the one to break the Reaper curse? Reaper is 1 in 8. I mean, sorry, 0 rather in 8 in this tournament. Hasn't won a single round.
I wonder if at any given point this CJ Chrome like spin that's going on is affecting Luke in any form and fashion. Because he keeps moving in front of him and he's spinning right in front of Luke, and Luke looks like he's trying to get some actual damage in, trying to find some reflex.
So that dragon will force 31 tricks out. There's a visor available for Alien. That's pretty huge. Attack visor. Let's see what it gets. Doing a lot of damage to Zarya right now. She does have the shield. There goes Lucio. Oh, Zarya pretty close as well. Helix Rocket double kills each other. But looks like Reaper is probably never going to be picked again in this tournament.
Oh, and hey, look, we spoke a little bit too soon. We did actually see Hanzo come out, so I think that leaves what? No, wait, we also have Torbjorn. We haven't seen Torbjorn yet. So
Torbjorn was very popular in the last tournament, but this one, I guess, not so much.
I have to give it credit to one thing with 31 Tricks. They understood that the Hanzo era was going to be coming at them. The moment that the Dragons came out, they jumped out, repositioned, and took no damage off of it. Sure, that forced them into a fight that they didn't want to, but they understood what was going to be coming on. Again, it comes down to understanding the other team's win conditions. Okay, they're going to be playing around this factor, or they're going to be playing around this factor. So the moment that they saw one of the win factors for the other team come out, they tried to deny it the best they could by repositioning. Or repositioning.
Well, we have double Roadhog, except when Dirty One Tricks is playing their patented self-heal team that they tend to really like to run. Oh, whoa, whoa! Okay, there were hooks, and nothing happened.
Sometimes it's important to just show that you can hook things, get some dominance out.
That was a bit weird.
Nice positioning coming out from Ergon. Getting a lot of slow effect. Can't actually force anybody off, though.
Wow, yeah, he came like literally a millisecond from freezing so many people. He was like, freeze the Lucio, not quite. Freeze the Roadhog, not quite. Try again. Finally got him, but at that point, everyone on his team was already dead.
Now we're starting to see, this is the point now. Dirty One Tricks have to only rely on superior comps. They haven't been necessarily running everything the most favorable, so they're going to try to reverse sweep this. You can tell that they haven't been playing like the most favorable heroes. They're trying to save everything for the end of it. And hey, apparently we're starting to see BLT run some different peculiarities coming out from here. I don't necessarily see a problem with this. Running the Sombra instead of like a Genji or a Tracer is very, very strong. At this point, I'm wondering if they're listening to the stream and they're just like, nah, we haven't seen all the heroes played. We're going to play all the heroes. Don't you worry.
I think that Tracer is superior to Sombra in combat situations like we always find ourselves in 3v3. Plus, there's no health pack to hack. But we shall see. We shall see.
It has use, and it does have the flanker position. Just have to play a little bit more safe is the big factor. Specifically, this Winston, if manages to jump in, can hunt down the Sombra. So it has to play very safe. And I think we can see that that's what the Winston is looking for.
We'll have to see, though. Ergon is being harassed a little bit, only at 100 health, but Sombra doesn't quite have the chasing power. There's Pharah in the air. Not too much to deal with them right now. Oh no, with no Ergon, this will be very difficult. We need I don't know right now. Brent needs to listen. I think that Pharah, well, CJ Chrome needs to fly pretty low, and then Brent needs to get a really nice clip off, and then Reckless needs to have perfect accuracy with the jump leap.
Reckless has been a good job on being extremely annoying to this pharmacy in the skies, though. Did a good job of staying alive, getting damage. Sure, it just got healed through because I'm in pharmacy. But at this point, alas, Brent, what can you do? What can you do? Can you pull off something crazy here?
He does have the pulse bomb. Oh.
Too late. That's the worst feeling right there. You get the pulse bomb and like there's something that we can do.
We saw the glimmer of hope. If he had pressed Q, he could have theoretically stuck the Pharah, which would have put him in a position to possibly win the game. But the Pharah, of course, got at the rocket.
So that puts 2-0 in favor of BLT right now. Coming out, they're being really strong. We are seeing a lot of good plays coming out from Dirty One Tricks. Just that comp there towards the end didn't give them the tools that were necessary. And Hanzo, I mean, we've seen Hanzo so far today.
BLT, so dominant this entire tournament. They are sitting at tournament point right now. They need to win one more map to take it all. Dirty One Tricks, we're looking at a reverse sweep right now for them to, for them to take it themselves.
Ricklats even knows. He's saying in chat, like, right now we C9 boys. We've got a reverse sweep. It's time to go.
Yep. Dirty One Tricks channeling their C9 powers, their Cloud9 powers. Well, this will be very difficult. BLT just showed a very strong map against Dirty One Tricks. They need to find something different. Like, some of these compositions from Dirty One Tricks are just not working. We're seeing that, for example, their dive comp hasn't seen a lot of success. Fair Mercy, seen a little bit, but still not as much. They're mostly riding off of the backs of their hit scan compositions. They need to find some life in their other projectile-based compositions.
I think that could be a big factor inside this. Brent has been one of their main engines for victory the longer we go through this. Ricklats playing very well, but Brent's been what they've needed to get the necessary kills and picks at specific times.
Yes.
And he's having a lot of trouble just getting around and dealing with Luke and Alien. They're just doing a good job in positioning, and anytime he's going to try to get these picks that are necessary that the team needs, he's getting picked off in return. So it's kind of become this issue where you can see that Brent is playing a lot more conservative than we were seeing earlier, and I don't know if he needs to kick it up a gear into a far more aggressive fashion, or if he just needs to be playing far more conservative. He's just kind of hanging out in this middle area, not exactly certain to go when to go in and what picks that are. He knows the pick. He just doesn't know if he should go for the pick at that moment, if that's the perfect moment to go for it or not. And I think that it's going to come down to Ricklats and Ergon to try to give him the breathing space to let him do what he's needing to do. And we're seeing this time he's coming out and eyeing the hit scan right off the get-go.
So far, Dirty One Tricks is 0 and, well, yeah, they're 1-1 with this composition so far. As far as Roadhog compositions versus Roadhog versus compositions go, the mirror match. This is a very important matchup. I mean, this is one of Dirty One Trick's strongest lineups. BLT clearly has a larger breadth of strong lineups of their own than Dirty One Tricks has. Well, I mean, Dirty One Tricks, maybe it's in the name, right? They have less flexibility. So if they don't win this, they're in big trouble. Let's see though. As both, they go up the same. Oh, the hook finally does connect actually this time. Doesn't hit the wall, and that is huge with no Roadhog rather here for the Dirty One Tricks. It's just the May left, and so BLT goes up one round in this crucial tournament point set for BLT.
This point means 2 more victories for BLT, and they take this whole thing. Grand Finals will be theirs. Pressure is now on to One Tricks. They have to. And that's exactly what I was expecting.
There we go.
They know that they need to get these wins. They're bringing out the Reinhardt, McCree, Anna. They know that this is what they need to work around. On the other side of this, does BLT know that this
Are
is
they metagaming it?
I think they are metagaming. I think that they're expecting a strong comp to come out, so they're running a little bit more peculiar. Are they going to make the switch? Are they not going to metagame this? This is where the mind games become so important, guys. You can see that, okay, do we think that they're going to play a comp? Or are they going to wait until it's 2-0? This is where the mind games start really becoming a big factor in this. That was essentially a free win that they could have handed over, and now they're deciding to potentially go for the win BLT is off of this round, but with a little bit weaker of a comp inside this. They don't have the same healing. It's going to really be interesting. CJ Chrome is going to have to be really, really effective in firing around Ricklats Reinhardt shield.
We'll have to see. There is more damage right now for BLT, but not as much healing. So if they take a couple shots from Brent, it'll be pretty slow to heal up. But at the same time, if they manage to stay safe and not take too much chip damage, theoretically in a really fast-paced fight, the higher damage Dirty One Trick composition should take it.
This is really interesting. We're seeing this maneuverability, trying to find when conditions become a factor. Right now, BLT wants to play range.
Oh no!
Use of the Widowmaker. That is really big. Luke managed to get a kill onto Anna. Now it's just going to be a matter of chasing down this poor Reinhardt is the only thing that's left. That is 2-0. This is potentially Grand Finals victory on the next round, and BLT got a win over a very strong Dirty One Trick comp. I don't know what Dirty One Trick has left to pull out on this. They have to bring out whatever they can, and it looks like they're leaning into a Winston and Tracer Zenyatta.
This is their last strong
comp.
Make
this work.
And I think this might be the this might be the metagame comp from BLT. We'll see. This would be the time to do it. So what we mean by that is if BLT just picks completely random heroes, like you see on the screen, for example, like Torbjorn, Sombra, like just random stuff like that. Oh, here we go.
Oh.
Here we go. We get to see the cell comp.
I'm not mad. We haven't seen it much today.
It's fine. It's one time I'm okay. Last tournament we saw it literally every round.
Okay, so what you guys, just to give you an idea, what the stall comp is its premise in life is just to defense up in the spawn, right off the get-go, throw down the Orisa shield, throw down the turret, use the Mei to provide as much cover as you can, force the team to come in on you. At this point, now Dirty One Trick has to choose to push into a fight that they don't want to take and potentially lose this round, or just give up a tie and now lose a very strong composition. So you can see Brent's trying to get the shield down. Everybody's trying to get the damage in. But even if you manage to get down the shield and manage to get down the Torbjorn turret, it doesn't necessarily matter because you still have the Mei ult. See, it's just so dirty.
Although Dirty One Tricks does have a pretty decent comp. Ooh, Frozen Reckless though. That's a little bit dangerous for him. But this is the correct composition from Dirty One Tricks to actually deal with this. They have the long range from the Pharaoh. They have Urgon who can resurrect them, so they can do like a 2-man suicide play to try to trade out. And then Urgon on this Mercy can resurrect people, but still, this is tricky. If you've never played against this before, it can be very frustrating.
I think a big factor is going to be self-destruct, hands down. Can Reclats build up self-destruct? But he has to push through this freaking shield in order to do so.
Oh, he's frozen again. That feeds so much ultimate charge whenever he gets frozen.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And so Urgon's got ultimate, so they have the tools to work with. But on the flip side, if they do decide to get aggressive, they're going to have to push into a Blizzard now. Torbjorn sneaking up on ultimate, CJ Chrome is sneaking up on ultimate. It's just taking too long for Reclats and Brent to get their ultimates in place.
That's true. Brent only at 36%. He hasn't landed anything, and that the rocket barrage is so key. It's going to be so key to actually breaking this position. Reckless, he does have his self-destruct pretty soon, but still, Torbjorn has molten core, so the turret can actually tank that. CJ Chrome, he has his damage boost ultimate. That's okay. It's not really super relevant, but of course, Alien with the Blizzard totally shuts down any sort of all-in push that Dirty One Tricks can make onto this position. So let's see. It's all up on Dirty One Tricks right now. 1 minute remaining. Do they lose this composition and just take the draw, or will they try to go for the round and risk it all?
Reclats is looking for the damage. 97% for self-destruct.
Blizzard
trying to save life. So many people are coming in on. So much health is going down. Doesn't manage to get.
No, Alien can't quite hit him though. Reckless is still alive. He might get his ultimate back. He does. He gets back his mecha. He has self-destruct. Although, oh no, Urgon dies. There's no mercy res anymore. Self-destruct isn't gonna get anything. There's right now 1v1. Luke versus Brent.
But now we've lost the shields, we've lost the wall.
Shields.
Brent can play in, try to take this down. Gonna take a little bit of damage coming in. Has barrage.
There he goes! Oh!
Manages to get the kill on it, so that puts them at 2-1 now. So Dirty One Tricks manages to stay alive and not give up the tie.
That was amazing. Just the execution from Dirty One Trick, so tight. That was such a high pressure situation. This was tournament. They were out of the tournament if they lost that. They went down early. Remember, the D.Va got walled off. Managed to pull through, get the mech back, get the ult back. That was just a phenomenal round.
But there's so many heroes that are now off of the board. You have to see what do each team have left, and it looks like it's going to be full-on dive versus full-on dive coming out. One side's leaning Tracer, one side's leaning Genji. We've seen Luke go absolutely crazy with Genji earlier. But on the other side, we've seen Brent get some really good kills on Tracer. These two guys are going to be the big factors inside this. Which one's going to get the kill on the Winston or Zenyatta first? Specifically Zenyatta's. They're going to have to play so safe.
Yeah, these Zenyatas are the absolute crucial point. Urgon and CJ Chrome need to be so careful. They need to land the headshots on whoever's diving them as well. Tracer a little bit better at killing Zenyatta than Genji, but just a little bit. There we go. There's a dive. Gets taken out immediately. Wow, what phenomenal team coordination. Takes out CJ Chrome in like 1 second. Urgon's in the back, completely fine. But still, the trade comes out on Reckless, so that's a bit scary. But still, there is a Zenyatta versus no Zenyatta. That's a big deal.
And Luke has so little life. He doesn't have really anything that he can execute on. So you can see the rest of the team is trying to retreat back. BLT's trying to figure out what the approach path is going to be from this. We've seen Luke play around low life before. Sacrifice himself to give Alien a kill. I don't know if they're going to have the chance to do that in this case, but they have to get down Ergon. They know that that's the target that they have to go for. And he manages to get a kill on the Genji instead.
Alien is 74% of the way towards an ultimate. It's not going to be here in time. He goes down. This is 2-2. Dirty One Tricks ties it up.
They called for the favor of C9. They wanted the reverse sweep. Is it happening? We are now 2-2. So many heroes are now off of the table. We can see Brent is eyeing Bastion. Teams are like, what do we play? What do we play? Do we run the Tourbillon? Do we run the Bastion? What do we have left?
Here's what it comes down to, though. Remember how I said before, BLT. They did the stall comp, which means they're coming in with look what they have still. Look what they still have. Dirty One Tricks does not have the experience. They don't have that veteran instinct that BLT has. They've been in every single tournament so far, and I think that is showing here. BLT still has this very strong McCree, Ana, D.Va composition, and Dirty One Tricks has a Bastion?
Well, no, they're going to be playing their own version of a stall comp, is what I think. Surely
Maybe.
They're going to
We'll
execute on this. They're playing the door. They're running at the door. They're deciding to go out and push for this. This is really, really dangerous. They could have played the stall comp, tried to go for survivability. Instead, they're going to try to post up, try to get this Bastion protected.
There we go. He is behind a shield. It's still possible here because there isn't too much. I mean, D.Va is pretty good at busting shields. And also, of course, D.Va is very good against Bastion, so it's a really good... Like, if they had picked Reinhardt here instead of D.Va, first of all, they don't have Reinhardt available to them, but I think this is one of the things that demonstrates why D.Va is such a strong alternative to Reinhardt, especially in these types of situations. The D.Va can just shut this down so hard, but still, they need to find a way in.
We're just seeing a lineup against both teams, trying to find something. There was a really nice halt command coming out from Orisa. Managed to pick up a couple of people. Brent didn't get a chance to execute on it. Brent's actually still repositioning, trying to find the best point that he can come in on.
Ooh,
he has a good vision on both windows. You can see that everybody from BLT is kind of pinned, trying to figure out their pathing to come in. I think it's going to come down to defense matrix, and sooner or later,
Brent's
it looks
at
like
75%
BLT's going to pull
ult.
the trigger.
Brent's at 75% ult. Each one of these ults is getting him more damage, but they're going in before he actually has tank mode. Right now, they're diving in. Luke has the nano boost. Reckless in the back. He has no healing. He has nothing. He goes down. There's 3 players on BLT. Brent has tank, but completely shut down entirely by the defense matrix. Gets 2 shots in, but still, it's just a Bastion. A sleeping Bastion at that. I didn't even know robots can sleep match him, but he's sleeping.
It's Erico that got taken down.
Oh, look at this. One more shot. Maybe an Alien. He gets taken down. This is a 2v2 now. Although Luke takes out Brent, it's only Lucio remaining. Argon, he does have enough damage. It's theoretically possible, but no, he's going to be taken out. And that's it. BLT is our Versus Play Grand Champions today. Wow, what a phenomenal match.
What an end to that. That was so absolutely interesting. Oh, no, we're getting a Torbjorn play of the game.
Classic. Santa Claus brought us an early Christmas. The Torbjorn play of the game.
We didn't even talk about the skin synergy. Did you see that? We saw May that was running the Christmas one as well. So, that was just